I have a dream, he said, that we all will live as equals. I have a dream, he said, that one day my children will be able to walk down the street and go unjudged due to the color of their skin. I have a dream today, he said. If you do not already recognize these words, they are that of none other than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. A very powerful, emotional, and inspirational persuasive speech written by him. A speech given more than 40 years ago, yet is still important to this day. His use of strategic delivery and rhetoric is what makes it so memorable. Though I have studied Dr. King since I was in elementary school, I recently have been able to study him from a different standpoint. Not only do I see Dr. King as a hero through his courageous actions, but his words of wisdom. Today I am here to dedicate my words to his words. I would like for all of you to see the way that I see him. Not only did his actions change a nation's view, but his words as well. Through his brilliant delivery, well-thought-out rhetoric strategies, and his overall brave contributions, he made sure that he was heard. Just by looking here at Dr. King giving his I Have a Dream speech, you can tell by his facial expressions that he was there to deliver a message. He moved many and intended for all to envision a life of equality and freedom. Not only for them to hear it, but for them to believe it was possible. And let me tell you, he did just that. Dr. King spoke with emotion and power. He was driven and striked with confidence. Doing so allowed him to gain the credibility of his audience. If the crowd was able to see that he was confident, they were more willing to trust his words. The man wanted change and wanted everyone to see why it was necessary. He always made sure to present his crowd with excellent eye contact. He never seemed scattered and never seemed uncomfortable. It was almost if he knew what he was going to say 5 lines before he said it. Which makes sense, because according to an article by the Sentinel editorial board, most of Dr. King's words were ad lib. He was speaking from the heart. He wanted many to see what could and should be done, and he had no problem vocalizing it. Now, when you're speaking to persuade a crowd, there are many tactics used, such as rhetorical devices, which Dr. King used frequently. One device he emphasized on was anaphoras, which is the repeating of words at the beginning of neighboring clauses. Now, most of you may recognize the I Have a Dream anaphora, but of course there are many others. For example, 100 years later and now is the time. These both were used in his I Have a Dream speech. Each of these phrases repeated makes his speech more memorable. And he says them multiple times, which almost leaves the crowd not able to forget them. Quite similar to anaphoras, Dr. King uses theme words, such as freedom, nation, America, injustice, we, our, and many others. All of these words are constantly used throughout his I Have a Dream speech. Freedom, because he wants everyone to see that that is what they deserve. America, because that is their home and where they live. Injustice, because he believes that all deserve equality. And our and we, because he wants to see that everyone is in this together. Dr. King's use of metaphors are just as remarkable. He evokes that of dark and desolate to segregation and the sunlit path to that of racial justice. King wanted all to actually picture a life of freedom and equality, not just hear it. And he did so through those rhetorical strategies. My mom always told me that hard work takes dedication and you have to fight for what you want. Dr. King sure as hell did that. In his case, he wasn't just only fighting for himself, though. He was fighting for everyone around him. Dr. King's words allowed great movements to take place. He led the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Though many doubted him, he never allowed negative feedback to bring him down. Threats were constantly thrown his way, and he still stood tall. Giving up was not in the books for him. This is why we are able to walk down the street amongst other races, why we are able to sit with any color we decide to sit with, and why we can play on the same team as another race. He made a change for the better. Raised in Atlanta, Georgia, in a secure and loving environment, King lived a merely 39 years, from 1929 until 1968. He was taken by a bullet, and many would agree was way too young to go. This man died for what he believed in and changed a nation doing so. Many should never forget his attributions. Still to this day, he is and shall always be remembered as a hero. He was a man of integrity, passion, and drive, all shown through the content and strategies of his words and contributions. Rest in peace, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.